When you know deep in your bones that you are a creative person, and yet you have seemingly lost your ability to create. This is artist's block, sometimes known as creative block or most commonly writer's block. But this term is needlessly specific, considering the fact that creative block is a nearly universal struggle for anybody that makes anything. In fact, it should really only be spoken of in extremely general terms because there are a myriad of potential causes for creative block. But despite these various paths and causes, they all lead to the same singular fog. Sitting in front of a blank page, a lump of clay, a guitar in a stand, a workshop full of tools, or the blue light of a computer screen, and wanting to make something, to spin a thread of thought into a tangible tapestry. But when you try to pull on that thread, it just doesn't budge. So how do we fix it? Well, everybody's different, and unfortunately, there isn't a ton in the way of research into treating creative block, since it can be caused by anything from general burnout and exhaustion to actual diagnosable disorders, such as bipolar. Most treatment strategies are tailored to specific individuals, but there are a few general principles that seem to have consistent net benefits when trying to rekindle creative thought. And after a bit of research into the subject, it has become my belief that for most people, the single most effective treatment for artist's block is Minecraft. And I'll tell you why. Creativity is fundamentally playful. Most folks start out with creative thinking just for the fun of it. It is an act of freedom. At its purest, creativity is kind of a waste of time. Not in the literal sense, but in the socio-economic sense. Play isn't meant to yield anything beyond fleeting enjoyment, but the reality of being creative is oftentimes more complicated. Artists can work on commission, musicians are paid to perform, YouTubers try to monetize their video essays, or they use Patreon. Anyways, needless to say, at some point, creativity takes on socioeconomic meaning for most folks. Even if you're not actively making money from your art, you might be trying to get better in order to do that someday. And that's just the economic component. You may not profit from your work or intend to, but you post it online. You want to be seen, to be acknowledged in some way for your art. And all of that is well and good. In fact, it's wonderful. But the fact that you're trying to receive something from your art, money, recognition, or compliments, as a virtue of quality, means that you're starting to think about your own abilities, your artistic competence. Competence is the tricky thing here. To be self-determined is to feel competent, motivated, and otherwise capable of doing something. But when we want to improve, we move the goalposts for ourselves. In the act of acquiring more competence, it's easy to make yourself feel incompetent. This is a natural part of the cycle of improvement, but when you lose your sense of competence, you lose a key component of self-determination, and that may cause you to fall into a rut. This is the first thing that Minecraft offers to a blocked artist: frivolity. Unless you're one of the incredibly few people that makes money playing Minecraft, the act of enjoying the game has no socioeconomic benefit to you. Minecraft is a game that demands creativity from its players, but always in the context of play. Suddenly, there are no real consequences for wrong answers or bad art. Minecraft allows you to follow your every impulse. Light some trees on fire, get in a boat and explore the ocean for hours, disappear into a cave and let the days slip away as you spelunk, or kill some villagers. And in all fairness, there are many games which offer a similar degree of freedom to Minecraft, but the other thing that makes Minecraft a perfect oasis for creative thought is its juxtaposition of freedom and monotony. In other words, the game is exciting, but its gameplay loop also relies on repetitive actions: finding and eating food, seeking materials in caves, sorting items owned, and building structures 1 square meter at a time. Minecraft is free, but it's also diligent, meditative. Many artists state that they feel most creative while engaged in what are called semi-automatic tasks, things like walking, swimming, driving, and so on. Activities that allow a sort of liminality in the mind of the artist, the freedom to daydream, combined with the discipline of tedium. Minecraft facilitates not just creativity, but also creative thinking by utilizing a gameplay loop that revolves around opposing forces, playful impulses, and diligent repetition. It mirrors the methodical flow state of creating real art, carefully placing lines on a page, preparing a board to be carved, kneading clay, etc. All of those actions are mirrored in the land of voxels. The ability to thrive on the bleeding edge of passion and productivity is an ability that is frequently seen in artists. In fact, many artists exhibit combinations of traits that might seem contradictory or otherwise distant polarities. In other words, artists tend to display a high tolerance of ambiguity. They are able to be comfortable with themselves and their actions, even when those actions and traits don't make perfect logical sense together. By doing this, they accept the complexities found within themselves and their lives, and this is what makes most artists unusual and eclectic people. Minecraft is a game without other characters, without a clearly defined goal, and without any explicit story. It has just enough set decoration to imply something, but that something is deeply ambiguous. In fact, some of its features are downright eclectic. It doesn't explicitly ask anything of its player. And the result of that ambiguity is fascinating. Have you ever looked at another person's Minecraft build and realized that something in their mind has got to be really different from your own? For instance, I have a buddy who once made an entire base with Pepsi branding all over it. Why? Only he could tell you. Another friend of mine makes the weirdest, most charmingly disjointed structures for his base. He'll go, "Hey, what's that thing?" And he'll reply with something like, I needed to get one of every big tree." All of his buildings are pyramids. He builds 1-by-1 bridges across to other areas, and he stores his items like this. He is able to express personality traits of his that are ambiguous to me. The ability to unwittingly convey your own eccentricities. A Minecraft build is an unintentional mind map. They're typically less than perfect and sometimes deeply inefficient, but they're a product of their creators' extreme personalities. Visit another artist's shop or studio space in the real world, and you'll be met with a similar phenomena. They're environments that facilitate a creative flow, but they're tailored to their owners, for better or worse. Other people oftentimes find it hard to work in those spaces. So the ability to exist in a familiarly bizarre environment is deeply creatively nurturing. But when you build a satisfactory base, you're creating an environment of quiet introspection, self-compassion, and playfulness. It also becomes a small personal monument. If you like your base, then it means you've succeeded at something. It's a subconscious confidence booster. When you build out a Minecraft world, you become surrounded by your own successes, reminders of what you're capable of. Blocked artists often find it helpful to return to their past work. But while Minecraft does lend a perfect atmosphere for isolated introspection, that's only one side of the coin. Sometimes creatives need community in order to absorb new ideas and inspirations from their peers or their betters. And Minecraft has one of the biggest and brightest communities in existence. Most of you have probably consumed other Minecraft content aside from this video, likely from real players who have risen to an iconic status due to their videos and Let's Plays. It's safe to say that content like this is effectively the center of the Minecraft community. The creators that make this work can be considered role models in the inspirational sense, and there are actually a few archetypes for creative role models in the eyes of artists. Here are a few examples. Twins. Twins are people who experience similar struggles and similar levels of achievement to the artist. In the context of Minecraft, these might be friends or other server members, people who can contribute a similar amount of time to the player and possess a comparable gameplay ability. A friend's build is often accessible, something that you could build, but also something you may not have thought of, or something done in a way that you wouldn't have done it. Twins help us contextualize our abilities and slowly progress, improve in small but practical ways, and introduce ideas that are adjacent to our own but decidedly separate. You might think mirrors are the same as twins, but they're actually pretty different. Mirrors are people that have comparable strengths, talents, and uniqueness to the artist, but they're in a different place. For instance, they might be older, younger, more successful, or in a completely different field of work. I think in Minecraft, the best mirrors are YouTubers that seem to have similar abilities or strengths to the player, but are able to dedicate much more time to the game. They help show the player the limits of their abilities, while also teaching them things that the player would have spent hours learning alone. Mirrors can be less experienced though too, providing a fresh perspective, like a brand new player that is less experienced but much more flexible in their thinking, able to find new ways to solve old problems. Finally, there are heroes. These are people that have abilities the artist perceives to be vastly superior to their own. These are the redstone geniuses, the mega base builders, and the map makers. Creators who inspire the player to aim higher, get outside of their comfort zone, and at least become interested in things that they don't feel comfortable trying today, but may feel comfortable trying eventually. So while these principles exist in life and are mirrored in the Minecraft community, the reason that Minecraft is so valuable is because oftentimes consuming Minecraft-related content feels proactive and entertaining, as opposed to demoralizing and depressing. In real artistic communities, it can feel extremely vulnerable to share your work, let alone discuss it with strangers. Or better yet, try to engage with someone who's on a completely different level than you are. Minecraft teaches players how to collaborate with their peers and listen to their betters. Most people don't have much of a complex in regards to their abilities in Minecraft. They simply accept it as a game and move on. But it's actually a very valuable trait, the ability to ignore your own ego when it comes to creative tasks like building or making a redstone contraption. This ability to sort of step aside and listen is an extremely important skill for artists that helps prevent blocks created by a feeling of inferiority or a refusal to accept help from other people. Look, procrastination is probably a lot more common than you think. Everybody does it. I certainly do. And it's not even an activity that's limited to human beings. Pigeons procrastinate. And procrastination isn't necessarily an indication of creative block. However, The two combined do form a pretty dynamite team for not getting any work done. And there are lots of reasons to procrastinate when making art. Maybe the setup feels like a chore, maybe you just need to think about it a bit longer, and if that's the case, don't be so hard on yourself. Studies have shown that procrastination can sometimes just be a mechanism for quality assurance. It's your subconscious telling you that an idea isn't done yet. But procrastination in pursuit of perfection can be a fool's game. If you feel a compulsion for something to be done perfectly, or not at all, then that thing's a lot less likely to ever get done. Perfection is the enemy of good enough. And of course, procrastination is most often the result of negative neural feedback loops. Why spend hours working on something difficult that could fail when you've got a veritable oxytocin factory in your pocket? And that's the tricky thing about procrastination. Sometimes it can be the right move, but oftentimes it's your brain scrambling to find something rewarding to do instead of the task that feels less rewarding. Tasks that are short and random feel best, like scrolling through TikTok or online shopping. Varied stimuli keep you on your toes, and you get a reward within seconds, minutes, or hours, as opposed to days. It sounds pretty harmless, and it can be, but the result is often hours spent swiping through short clips on your phone, literally burning away your time. So if you don't want to burn your time, and want to increase the likelihood that you end up back in the saddle working on your creative project, procrastinate with Minecraft. Seriously, Minecraft is full of tasks that operate on similar premises of random and fairly quick rewards, especially in these recent updates. Exploration in Minecraft can really feel like a roll of the dice. You might find diamonds, a beautiful cave system, or one of the game's many structures. The reason that Minecraft is a healthier way to procrastinate is the fact that engaging with it requires active thought and participation. When you swipe through videos on social media, you are literally being fed content. It is being shoved towards you, and you're just sort of absorbing it. But with Minecraft, you are following your own interests, choosing to spend mental energy on the things that matter to you. Minecraft will literally help to rebuild the habits that you need to do the things that you need to get done in real life. It is a meditative contemplation on what it means to feel motivated, the temporality of failure, and the satisfaction of success. It can be a distraction, maybe even a little bit of a waste of time, but it's never a waste of you. Minecraft helps to build you. It reminds you of who you are. It proves that within yourself, there is a person that wants to enrich their own existence just for the sake of it. We use the term sandbox to describe Minecraft and games like it. Real sandboxes are for children. They help teach kids to build things, to use tools, to explore, dig, find new things. But most profoundly, sandboxes teach about impermanence. Everything is temporary. Everything takes work to maintain. Everything can be broken. And with the proper technique, everything can be built back up, including imagination. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.